welcome to episode 363 of the All You Can Hear podcast. My name is Wenzel, and today I'm joined by my other co-host.
Alien Colt. I am the tall white. That's it. I'm the tall white.
You're the yeah.
What are you?
Me?
Yeah, are you an alien? Are you a ghost?
Yeah, no, I'll say I'm an alien. I'm short brown.
Oh fuck, I haven't seen one of those before.
Yeah, I'm short brown.
Where are they spotted at normally?
On the ground.
Oh, okay. No locations?
Just on the ground.
Like
Very
over
short.
there?
Anywhere.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, we're just so close to the ground that you can't see us. We're so tiny.
Damn.
Yeah. And we just love going around collecting trinkets and knickknacks.
Okay, like a gnome.
Yeah, kind of more akin to goblin.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
gnomes can be goblinish. They attack and kill people.
No, we don't do that.
Okay.
No, we just love collecting knickknacks and being in our little holes and just looking at those knickknacks.
All right, I respect it.
Yeah, because if we didn't collect knickknacks or trinkets, whatever, there's nothing stopping us from just blowing our brains out.
yeah, I get it. Those little knickknacks keep you going.
Yeah, without them, I would just be a slab of meat on a railroad track.
What are we here for?
So we're why we're here to talk about Dandadan.
I gotta listen to the opening again. I can't just the opening. I can't pull it out of thin air.
Dandadan. Dandadan. Is nobody gonna stop me?
You're the one. You just keep doing it.
Yeah. So we did this for if nobody remembers, back during the spring, we had an episode about Kaiju number 8 where we watched the first episode of the anime. We reviewed it, and then we also read the first 3 volumes of it and reviewed those. For this one, we're doing kind of the same thing. The only difference is that we actually attended basically an early screener where the first 3 episodes of the anime was collected and they were shown in theaters for people. So we're gonna be talking actually this time about the first 3 episodes of the anime, and then afterwards we're gonna talk about the first 3 volumes of the manga. And yeah, this will be a review and discussion.
And they had a little fun about the creators that they did before the 3 episodes started.
Yeah, so they had like a little opening interview section. So this event was called Dandadan First Encounter, and we watched this on Friday the 13th, which is very fun because that lines up with the idea of the occult and stuff. And the runtime of this was an hour and 23 minutes. I can't remember how much time maybe the interviews and stuff added, but
Like
it
20
doesn't matter.
minutes.
Maybe, yeah. It was long, but not in a bad way. It was very fun. It was the mangaka himself. It was I believe his editor, one of his assistants,
The voice
director,
actors for Momo and
Okarun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just fun little thing. It was really cool. And for those who don't know, to kind of give you a brief synopsis of Dandadan, Momo Ayase, thank you, is a high school girl who believes in ghosts but not aliens, while her classmate, Ken Takakura, believes in aliens but not ghosts. Ken Takakura or very early on, is called Okarun. It's basically a mashup of the word occult, In a bet to determine who is correct, the two decide to separately visit locations associated with both the occult and the supernatural, Ayase visiting the former and Takakura visiting the latter. Ayase is abducted by a group of aliens who accidentally unblock her chakras, enabling latent psychic abilities. Meanwhile, Takakura is possessed by a spirit who takes over his body. By using Ayase's abilities in Takakura's possessed form, they defeat the aliens together.
Yeah, this is something that I've been super looking forward to, the anime. And even the manga, I've been collecting it since volume 1 release. I even read the first 5 chapters as they were releasing, and then never again until now, or until, like, last week. Very glad that I'm starting it now, because holy shit, this is fucking awesome. This has s it's hitting its potential fully. This is one of the best manga that is ongoing right now, and I'm just super glad to be here for it.
That's crazy because we're talking about the anime cult.
I know, it's still goes into each other.
No, no, I know. I'm
Bitch!
joking. I'm
You
joking.
fucking
I'm okay. Yeah. So that's the brief. And like Colt said, I'll say this too. I bought the first volume of the manga. Like I think when it first came out, and then read it. I loved it, and then I collected um the next 5 volumes earlier this year, and then read through them immediately. It's so freaking good. And then of course, like just because of how it looks, it was definitely going to get an anime. And then when that was announced, when we saw little snippets of it, so hyped. But
especially since it's Science Saru, the studio founded with, Masaki Yuasa. He didn't have any hand in it as far as I know, but that studio, they are super talented.
Yeah, so to go into brief kind of details about the anime, like Colt said, it's produced by Science Saru, directed by Fuga Yamashiro, who, like I said, he was in the brief interviews, and we got to he talked a little bit about setting up scenes and how he goes about doing that. It was actually very interesting, which was what makes this anime even more incredible because it's very cinematic. And I believe that is because of um, Yamashiro being the director. The character designs were by Nayuki Onda. Alien supernatural entity designs were by Yoshimichi Kamita, and the I don't know why I said it like that. The music was composed by Kensuke Ushio.
Ushio.
Ushio, sorry.
Yeah, Kensuke Ushio is an insanely talented person. You might recognize his name from Devilman Crybaby, another Science Saru joint, and also Tokyo, or what is it? Japan Sinks, another Science Saru joint. So he's basically a Science Saru professional. And also Chainsaw Man, that's not
I
Science
was
Saru, but still,
I
he
was literally
works
about
with
to bring
them
that up.
mostly.
Yeah, I was about to bring up Chainsaw Man as well. Yeah, no, Cole pointed him out for me in Devilman Crybaby, or whenever we watched that together, and ever since then, it's just like anytime he's attached to anything, I know the music's gonna pop off, and music and sound definitely popped off for this. And then the premiere of this, by the way, is going to be on Netflix. It's going to premiere on October 4th. I was trying to look up to see how many episodes it will have. Nobody knows. There was a very weird little thing on Threads where somebody posted saying that this is going to have 24 episodes. Um, I don't I don't know any validity to that because that's literally all they said. Nothing else. Um, and I think that's interesting because the opening does have a character that won't be if this is going to be like 12 or 13 episodes, his arc won't even be fleshed out. I don't even think we'll get introduced to him by the end of um of a season of 12 episodes. So that's why I think that okay, that could be possible because then the second part would focus on him and the arcs that involve him. That would make a lot of sense.
You talking about Gigi?
Yeah, GG. That's not really a spoiler.
No, I think he's gonna pop up like before the credits hit on the final episode, if it's 12.
Yeah, that's the thing is I could see that. I could see like a post credits, I guess, where we're gonna get introduced to him, or we're gonna get like it's gonna be like a conflict of interest kind of scene, um, or a romantic conflict. Um, but the opening theme is Otonoke by Creepy Nuts, and the ending theme is Taidada by Zutomayo.
Both of them great, great tracks. I
Yep.
really enjoy this opening a lot more. Ah, fuck. What? I the band's called Creepy Nuts, right?
I just said that.
Okay. What's the song that they did? Bing Bang Boom. I'm not huge on that one, but this one.
Wow, got it completely wrong. Bling bling bong. Uh,
Oh fuck, we're making noises.
bling bling bang. Sorry.
But still, this one way better. I enjoy the seriousness that it goes into in the actual opening. The opening's animation is gorgeous.
All right,
But
cancel me. But I think you having an opposing opinion offends me.
oh no, no,
Cancel me.
no.
Cancel me. No, I really I love this opening. I think I do love it more than the Mashal opening with that song, but that song I completely disagree with Colt. It's fun, it's catchy, it makes you want to dance. It's so freaking good. The opening that they use is really cool. The opening animation they use. So I completely disagree with Colt.
Yes,
But
Wenzel hates this one for Dandadan. That means he's completely disagrees with me, so he dislikes that.
no, I still got the name wrong. It's Bling Bang Bang Born.
Just noises.
I mean, those are words.
Yes,
um,
yeah, yeah, but it's like fuck, what's the term when comic books put like boom, pow,
yeah,
bang.
onomatopoeia.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. Um no, I do think it is better. I like this more than the other one. Um and then like Colt said, the animation for the opening gets you so hype. Um because it starts off pretty like uh I want to say like not unserious, but the opening is these like really like these fun little fisheye lens of our main characters for these first few arcs, the kids, and and then there's like a tone switch up where it's this very like majestic, beautiful, like kind of like um just this soft sound. It's so good. And like as much as it gets you hyped, it also gets you kind of or it gets you like prepped for like as silly as some of this stuff may seem, it still has a lot of emotional weight to it. I think this opening is a perfect encapsulation of what we're gonna get into with this.
God,
And
I'm
like there's like a
looking at clips from it from now. There's no official link to watch this. I'm watching the Spanish subbed one. This shit is good.
dude, I hate it because every time I've had to go back, I've had to scour for people's like they've had to they recorded it while they were in the theater because it's so good. Like I want to see it, but it won't get an official release until October. Um, but it's just so freaking good, and it also feels very nostalgic. I want to say that too. Um, but yeah, and then the ending theme is a lot of fun. It's probably one of my favorite ending themes for an anime,
Yeah, it
animation
has
and song.
the fucking oh my gosh! Spoiler alert, by the way, for Dan. Like you should know. We told you that, but you could see Turbo Granny. I didn't know it was Turbo Granny because I hadn't read the manga past the point in the anime that we saw. I was like, "Fuck! I need to know about that cat. I need to find out who that cat is." And I went home and read that night, and I found out it was fucking Turbo Granny. I fucking love Turbo Granny in kitty cat form. And, especially since Turbo Granny has a friend.
Yeah. It's I mean, like Colt said, spoilers here. Basically, it's just Turbo Granny finding a stray kitten. Um, raising the kitten up, and they just go on a bunch of shenanigans. It's very fun. It's very fun.
Sadly, not in the manga. I
Not
kind
in
of
the manga.
hope that if the anime it happens and it's just a background story that happens. I think that'd be pretty awesome.
I would love it. Um, but yeah, so now that we've gotten through that, again, we watched it was the first 3 episodes. Basically, episode 1 is the entirety of chapter 1, episode 2 is the entirety of chapter 2, and then episode 3 is chapter 3 and chapter 4.
Which is almost the entire first volume.
That's almost the first volume. That's pretty
Eh,
crazy.
I wasn't expecting it to go this slow, which isn't a bad thing. I was expecting it to go a little bit quicker. But that just shows, like, if they are in for the long haul, they're going to have a bunch of episodes if
Oh, yeah.
there's, like, multiple
Yeah,
seasons and whatnot.
yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just read out here, what happens up until chapter 4, um, basically, like, again, a synopsis that kinda combines all of it. We'll talk about it, and then, whenever I stop, I'll continue for the rest of it for the manga. Because on Wikipedia, it kinda has it set up perfectly for me right now, where it's just again, it's like a pretty good synopsis of each volume. So, yeah. So, um, okay. So to go into more, and again, I'm kind of reiterating what I said earlier with a brief kind of plot. But Momo Ayase is a high school student obsessed with the actor Ken Takakura. And let me see here. He's a Japanese actor and singer. He is actually born Goichi Oda. He's appeared in over 200 films, and he's affectionately referred to as Ken-san by audiences. He was best known for his brooding style and stoic presence he brought to his roles.
Yeah,
Um,
I've definitely seen
she,
his
bef-
face before. He has a familiar face.
yeah, I mean, probably. I mean, 200 films. That's a lot. Um, She befriends a nerdy boy she nicknames Okarun because his actual name, like I said before, is Ken Takakura. And it's kind of this ongoing bit where every time his full name is said, she immediately like blushes and just kind of gets paralyzed because he is like hitting all the check boxes on for her. Um, and he mistakes her kindness for a shared obsession with paranormal phenomenon because he's being bullied by a bunch of kids, and then she kind of steps in to kind of shield him from these kids throwing stuff at him at his desk. Very nice. Um, and so they get into this kind of conversation where they start talking about, or he starts talking about aliens. She doesn't believe in aliens. And then she brings up how she believes in ghosts and her grandmother's a medium. And then immediately he's like, ghosts aren't real. And it's just
Your
like,
shit's
she was,
stupid. No, your shit's stupid. Fuck you.
she was saying that she was trying to connect with him. And he does that. And it's so funny. Um, and I should mention too, I should have said this. I should have said this originally before. Um, the manga is written and illustrated by Yokunobu Tatsu. I don't think I said that. I don't know why in my head I was like, oh, we'll have to save this for the manga talk. But and previously in the interviews, either I'm sorry, I cannot remember, his assistant or one of his editors gave him like I think 100 different romance manga like volumes or like books for him to read so he could write the romance portion of this manga, which is pretty crazy. um Yokonobu Tatsu, by the way, was the assistant for Fujimoto for Chainsaw Man and for Kaku's Hell's Paradise.
Yeah, the Yuji Kaku was also working with fucking Fujimoto. Fujimoto gave birth to these two men, and they went out and created some of the most beautiful art that I've ever seen.
I mean, like two of the best manga in shonen, and horror manga too, by the way.
That's
Um,
true.
so anyway, where was I? Let me see. Okay. While she believes in spirits, he believes in aliens, and they send each other to notorious places to prove their respective interests. At abandoned Negi Hospital, Momo is abducted by the extraterrestrial Serpoians, which a lot of the aliens and cryptids for this are based on like real world like cryptids or alien sightings.
And
So
we've talked about a decent number of them, which is kind of fucked up. It's like the mangaka was listening to the podcast. I don't know.
No, it was very funny because Colt messages me and says that, "Oh my god, all of the aliens that he's created so far are all cryptids that Colt has covered on the podcast." And Colt's not wrong. He's covered almost all of these. So where we're up to right now. But yeah, the Serpoians. Where I left off.
And they look pretty
Momo.
sick. They look like creepy alien people in their human flesh, and then their alien form looks pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
Also, a fun fact: Okarun is voiced by the same voice actor as Tanjiro. Very, it's the same voice, so it just threw me off for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the
Tanjiro
aliens.
from Demon Slayer. I didn't say from Demon Slayer.
Oh yeah. The Serproians, their skin is very similar. That black and white kind of pattern is very similar to Dada, the kaiju from Ultraman. If anybody knows who that
Yeah.
is. But yeah. Meanwhile, Okarun is cursed by Turbo Granny, a yokai who is joined with a bound spirit and takes his penis.
And has one of the most epic introductions and like one of the best opening lines I've ever read in a manga. I can't really exactly quote it because I don't remember it 100%, but the gist, let me suckle, oh no, suckle on my titties so I can gobble your wiener.
I'll tell you because I have the manga with me right now.
Okay, tell me what that lady says.
Should I do a voice or
Yeah, you gotta say it sound like she does.
I'll let you suckle my teats if you let me gobble your schlong.
Damn.
Did that pick up?
Yes, it did. And I will say, if anyone said that to me, I think it'd work.
um, no, I that opening line, I had seen that everywhere prior to reading Dandadan, and I was like, "There's no way that's real." That's what she says.
Yeah, I still have that image saved on my PC from when I first read it, and I sent it in the chat. As soon as I read it, I was like, "Guys, check this out." And then I sent it, and that was like, oh god, so long ago.
And not only that too, whenever this stuff is happening to I have to give credit to the director because he it's creepy in the manga, but then he also makes it like unique but just as creepy in in here. And yeah, uh well not Turbo Granny saying that, but no, it was just so funny because there were people in our theater. Our theater was packed, by the way.
And there were
And
definitely people that had never read the manga. This was their only time interacting with this
this is
before.
the only time, and that didn't occur to me until at that point, um, because there were people who were going, "Oh," and laughing. Well, people like us who are laughing because it's just like people are in for a ride because we're having, we have this moment where again she takes his penis, but then also too there is the moment with Momo, which is like really like I remember reading it, I was just like, this is so weird, but like there's so much cool shit that's happening right now. It's just because they abduct Momo, the Serpoians, because they want to impregnate her and then take the offspring and then also to remove her her sexual organs,
Her
um
banana organs.
her banana organs, that's what they say. Yeah, it's very, and it's just it's very weird. But it, you know, they get their asses kicked because we actually get this really cool intro where as they're trying to do this, her phone goes off and they're like, who's calling? And then immediately as soon as they open up a phone, it's a flip phone. This takes place, I think, like maybe the early 2000s, middle aughts, I think.
I have no clue.
I never thought to look at that actually.
I mean, flip phones are still pretty popular in Japan. They're just like super evolved phones. They have touchscreens and everything.
Oh no, actually, I take that back. So Momo has a touch phone, but Okarun has a flip phone.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just remember the flip phone so much in my mind, and I think, oh, this is like the 2000s, but I forget. Um, she has a modern phone. Anyway, uh, Turbo Granny or Okarun possessed by Turbo Granny climbs through the fucking phone and just kicks ass. It's so cool. And there's that distorted like possessed voice. Oh, it's so good.
And her
She ends up
design, or not, well, it's Okarun's design
yeah.
looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's like it's really cool. Um she also bites one of the Serpoians in the dick and rips off his they also have these weird sharp mechanical penises that they use. Um yeah, so
I just love how fucking like focused on genitalia this manga is in a funny way, because the whole humor piece behind it is just crazy. The fucking pre interview even has the two the editor and the mangaka saying like, it would just not be as funny if we did it this way, but if we did it this way, they both lost their shit.
dude, okay, yeah. So yeah, the manga talks about how a lot of conflicts and stories happen within like 5 meters or so, like from the body. So like obvious from a storytelling component, he was like, well, what's something that's happening on the body and what's something that's like pretty important to, I mean, to a like a teenager. um and it would be his dick. And um and so yeah, so like to create that conflict, it's like okay, um, and then but then later, and again spoilers because we're gonna be talking about the manga later. Whenever he gets his dick back, the editor is like, well, or the manga is like, well, what now? And then the editor's like, well, now he has to lose his balls, and they just
He's
lose their. They say that they just start giggling. They just lose their minds.
it's fucking beautiful. This is like, I love it so much. Dandadan is incredibly unique. There is nothing like it in the shonen category. I don't think ever. We got horror, we got romance, and we got typical shonen action. It's just heat, brother. It's heat.
Yeah, yeah. So, and so yeah, so
And
she's kicked her,
comedy. I forgot to say comedy. Fuck.
and they're kicking ass, but one of the Serpoians, because they do have telekinesis or psychokinetic powers. um there's this really funny bit where Okarun is like, I'm gonna save you, but then immediately gets slammed against the wall, and he's like, never mind, I can't do it, Momo, help.
God, it's so
and
good.
and, after uh and so Momo awakens her own powers, and she's able to rescue him. And after rescuing each other, Momo uses her powers to suppress Okarun's curse, which gives him a depressed demon form with turbo granny powers. So every time he turns into this form, he's like, oh man, this is such a bummer. But he's incredibly powerful. Um, but he can only do this. He can only transform twice within a day. Um, so, returning to the shrine, she shares with her grandmother. Momo and Okarun battle the Flatwoods monster, which is like he's takes the appearance of a sumo wrestler, but he has the very iconic spade shaped head, and deploys a toxic gas too. And
So it's like it's not the Flatwoods monster. It's like a race, an alien race. So this is the one that landed in Japan and adapted to the culture, I guess. I guess it saw a sumo wrestler first and said, "That's what I'm going to be." While the one we had in America just saw a woman, so it was like, "Fuck, I am now wearing a dress."
well, what's interesting about this too is that so the Flatwoods monster, there have been actual sightings of it in Japan. So um that's why he uses it in this way too. But also too, they battle it, and one of the ways they have to get rid of it is they have to put up a oh gosh, what is it called?
Fuck, man, Naruto uses them all the time.
Naruto
Seals,
warding, I guess a warding seal?
something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, wow, Naruto uses them all the time. But they had to put it back up on the shrine because that's the only way they could get Okarun in. They had to take it off because every time he came in, he would burn up. So they took it off, but that's also why the Flatwoods monster came there. But also too, the Flatwoods monster was there, for, for the same reason the Serproians abducted them, and, so
Banana
I
organs.
so I assume the Flatwoods monster was also there under the same orders, and, that's where I said it was interesting because they had to put on that seal, and the Flatwoods monster isn't notably an alien, but in this scenario, um, it's being affected by, that. So I do like how the line between ghost and aliens is kind of blurred here. I think that's very interesting.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a common thing in the occult is that alien activity is also kinda connected to spiritual activity. There's so much to go on there. Like, holy shit, it's super interesting stuff, like, the
oh yeah,
potential thing of, like, our spirits, even, like, dead people, are they just past energy? There's too much to talk about there. But, hey, fuck! It's so cool the way that they just include uh, that in the story. It seems that even though one of them believes in the occult and the other one believes in spirits and the other one believes in aliens, in the end, they kinda believe in the same thing, it feels like.
yeah, yeah. At the very end of the volume one, there was a quote I wanted to use with this that um, mentions in the interviews is that um, there was a statement made by Bintaro Yamaguchi about the occult, and it is that they call it intellectual entertainment.
I agree, I
I
really
agree.
do, because it's
I agree.
nothing but, like, speculating. It's all creative entertainment as well, I guess.
It's
Like
just a bunch of fun ideas of like there's a lot to pull from, a lot to think about, you know? Like it just really gets your mind kind of going.
like, that being said, there's also some very dumb fucks in these fields of, alien hunting and ghost hunting. So, it's not necessarily. That's why I wanna say creativity, because I don't know if it's necessarily intellectual for, everyone.
I think it's more so I think when they say that, it's more so stuff to kind of play around with. Like in
Yeah.
an intellectual sense of like with stories and with well, I mean creativity feeds into that as well. Yeah. But yeah. Um but to continue on, Momo's grandmother, Seiko, aka the disreputable spirit medium Santa Dodoria, returns and saves Momo from Okarun.
Sexy
She then
grandma.
sexy
"Show
grandma.
me sexy grandma." That's a Steve
Um,
Harvey quote.
and again, this is the first time people have seen this, and when she pops up on screen, there are people that you can hear say, "Oh, that's her grandma." They're like, "Hello." Yes, I agree. Um, yeah, no, she is great, and she then after saving, she coaches the teens on how to defeat Turbo Granny. This is Seiko's awesome. She like this whole sequence here where we get this really good like not transition, but the scene where whenever Okarun completely turns into Turbo Granny, it's like this transition of one end of Turbo Granny's jaw to the other, and it's just nothing but like a straight like strip of teeth. It's so cool. And then whenever Seiko gets here, just completely kicks her ass, and it's and actually too, it's in the chapter is called "It's a Granny versus Granny Clash," and it's a very funny too because Turbo Granny calls her a hag, and Seiko's like, "Wow, a hag calling another or a an old lady calling another old lady a hag." It's very fun, and then she has this bat that she uses to beat the shit out of her. She creates these spiritual circles, very like she knows what she's doing, and it's so cool because we get this beginning scene where she's on this television show and she's saying all this stuff about this actor, and she's getting it all wrong, and they're like, oh well shit, like I can't believe she got it all wrong, she's just a hack or whatever. But then later turns out that everything that she said about this actor, um all the stuff that he had said were actually lies, and everything that she said was correct. It was very good.
It's just like a really great introduction of a character, especially with her weapon being a baseball bat that is also a pencil.
It was very cool. Very cool. I never realized it was a pencil either.
Yeah, I thought it was a brush in the manga, but like then again, I only read the first 5 or 6 chapters.
You know, I completely forgot. Um, I completely forgot about it being a pencil. In the manga, it shows it. It's a pencil.
I guess I'll just throw myself off the nearest building.
No, I'm just saying. I forgot. You know. But anyway, yeah, no, super cool. So then, yeah, she's having to basically help them um defeat her. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then basically where it kind of ends off, like I said, this goes to chapter 4. Chapter 4 is called Let's Go to the John, and it's Okarun. He has to go to the bathroom. And we get this again, this really cool scene where he's using the bathroom, and whenever there's like this moment where Turbo Granny kind of not necessarily stops time, but she starts to communicate with Momo in their mind, and she like takes up the whole door. Like I love the Turbo Granny's design, and at the same time, her grandma is like bleeding from her nose and from her ears, um, threatening Momo, threatening all of them. Um, and so like this is like not a challenge, but it's basically forcing like if any of this wants to be resolved, they have to go to the tunnel that Turbo Granny is from and to face her there.
Because because Turbo Granny is a like wandering spirit that kind of fused with a spirit that was birthed from the deaths of schoolgirls.
We're not even there yet, bro. That's the manga.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but no, Colt isn't wrong. Turbo Granny fused. She also used to be called the 100 kilometer Granny. Um, she fused with a earthbound spirit, so she is bound to this specific location. Um, and we also get this really good scene where Seiko had visited this tunnel previously, and what she saw was like this huge, just monstrous thing with like the appearance, like the aesthetic of Turbo Granny fused into it. It's very cool. But yeah, so this is where we leave off with the anime. Um, and we're just gonna I guess, go right into the manga. Um, so this is chapter 5, and this is kicking Turbo Granny's ass is what it's called. Momo challenges Turbo Granny to a race and tricks her into sending her full spirit into Okarun. The bound spirit awakens and begins to pursue them as an immense freshwater crab. Um, and the reason why it's a freshwater crab is because it's spirits, whenever they have to cross the river to make it easier, they turn into crabs. Oh, did you have anything to say about the anime before we get into the manga?
Uh,
And
all other than like, I wish that when it came out, the little preview, the actual anime would be airing a lot sooner because I want to see how they animate what comes next really fucking badly.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, no, sorry, I guess to give final thoughts about what we saw, it was a great theater experience. Um, most it's almost all adults, so everybody knew
It
how
was
to act.
packed. I think
It
it
was
was
packed.
full of
It
people.
oh, it was full. No, it was full. There was people in the front row, um, the seats behind us, like, everywhere. It was packed. Everybody came to this, and, yeah, no, it was just an incredible time being able to see the first 3 episodes of an anime, like, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month early, kind of. Not a month early, like, 3 weeks early. Pretty cool. Um, yeah. So I guess to go into the, into the manga, sorry, this is all, like, chaotic and split up. Um, should say, Dandadan has been serialized since April 2021 to give you an idea of how new it is. Uh, it's only been 3 years. They currently have 15 volumes out in Japan and 8 in North America.
You say it's like it came out not that long ago, but the mangaka has been working overtime on chapter releases because they're on chapter 166 as of recording, and they don't really take breaks. They just keep releasing weekly. It's insane. I love them for it though.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do. And yeah, again, we're going to go over the first 3 volumes. That is a total of 23 chapters. Um, these 3 volumes cover there's 3 arcs. There's Turbo Granny, there's Acrobatic Silky, and then there's the Serpo arc, which it only covers about the 3rd volume covers the Serpo arc, but only covers about 90%. The 4th volume completes the Serpo arc, like right there in the very beginning. It's just bam. Um, yeah, and Colt kind of said it earlier. Um, this manga moves at like a breakneck speed. Um, these arcs are like very short. They don't
But it
last.
doesn't feel bad because
It doesn't feel bad. No,
they don't overstay their welcome and they don't like undersell or under explain. I guess it feels
uh,
just right.
it feels just right. Like it's super quick. You can definitely see where Tatsu kind of is emulating a little bit of Fujimoto, but like it's not bad at all. It moves fast it's appropriate. It's just right, I think. And and something uh I forgot about that I should mention is I remember when I was first reading this, my dad saw me reading it, and then he saw Okarun in his possessed form on the cover, and he said that looks like that looks like something you would draw, because of all the teeth. Um, and I've heard that many times of people saying, "Oh, like characters or creatures and stuff." It's like, "Oh, it has like a ton of teeth." It's like that looks like something Wenzel would draw, and I take that as a compliment. Um,
Yeah, the Turbo Granny's like original Japanese like art style. That reminds me a lot of yours because I can see your art style with its teeth out pretty clearly.
I don't know what it is, but me and Tatsu align like pretty well with like drawing a physically impossible amount of teeth on a creature. Um yeah, so I just thought I thought that was fun. And I yeah, I love all the creature designs. That was like one of the big things that really drew me to Danadan was the creatures. Seeing like people post panels because they're just incredible. Tatsu's style is like it's these really hard lines that are with like I'm trying to think of how to describe it. It's not sketchy. It's like
It's
hard,
thick with purpose.
thick with purpose. Yes, thank you. Um, and it's incredible. And I mean, it's a style all his own. I can't really compare it to anybody else.
Yeah,
Um,
it really isn't similar to anyone else that I can think of. It's very unique. I love it.
Yeah, I love it. Like I said, and a lot of creatures with a lot of teeth, and I'm here for it. And oh gosh, there was something else I was gonna say. Oh, son of a bitch! I'll let it
What?
go. I'll let it go. No, it was just there was something I was gonna say about the opening, but since we're past that now, it doesn't matter. But I was just gonna say I was gonna talk about the style of the opening a little bit. Um, but I just completely forgot to talk about it. Um, the art
Yeah.
direction. I'll say it anyway. The art direction of the opening was really cool. I said there was like a little bit of fisheye lens with our main group of kids until and then we get these kind of minimalistic spray paint esque silhouettes of some of the monsters, and then we get these very fluid, kind of impressionistic little animated sections of Okarun. It's really cool. There, I said it. Cancel me.
You're canceled.
Shit. I
It's
didn't know.
easy.
I didn't know you'd do that. Okay. Fuck. All right. I guess we're just gonna have to talk about. Um, I guess you're just gonna have to talk about the rest of this by yourself, Colt.
All right. Uh, Yukinobu Tatsu. First request. Draw grandma farting.
Okay,
That
wait a
that is
minute.
my
Hold
first
on.
request.
I
Second request.
regardless of being canceled, I have to take it back from you. I can't let this shit show go on anymore.
Draw grandma farting on a cake.
So, second volume, Momo loses her grasp on Turbo Granny during the pursuit as they're being chased by the crab. Also, what was really cool too about this is they do this section where they challenge her into a race, um, and they trick her, and they're able to. Um, oh, well, I said this in the volume one. Her full spirit into Okarun, so that's um, so now he's able to turn into her um without relying on like or without really having to Momo has to hold on to the spirit of Turbo Granny physically, and but that's how they're able to control her, and also to for him to use his full spirit form. But like I said, Momo loses her grasp on Turbo Granny during the pursuit, but manages to grab the recombined spirit crab human, electrocuting it on an overhead line. Um,
Super cool. Two double page spread.
yeah, yeah, no, this there we get this really cool race section where they have to there's a lot of stuff they have not a lot of stuff they do. There's a certain requirement for what they have to do. Um, because again she's bound to this certain area, and they have to try to get her out of it because the area that Momo and her grandma are from, um, her grandma has a lot of power because of the local deities that she borrows her power from, but the tunnel is in a different region. So basically it's a race to get Turbo Granny and the crab out of the tunnel, and then to the border of their home region. And it's really sick. There's also a part two where they're going through the city, and Turbo Granny and the crab ask for help from the local um, spirits from the graveyards, and it's like this pretty crazy scene of a bunch of people who are possessed by spirits just running after them. And but then also too they grab onto a train because they mentioned that her her original name was 100 Kilometer Granny, and so they think that they can outrun her. But uh, brings up a really interesting fact that the train does have to slow down, but Turbo Granny never slows down. She always is running 100 kilometers.
Yeah,
Um,
train has to slow down because apparently if you go too fast around a curve, you have like a derailing and some bullshit like that.
yeah, right. But no, it's super cool because they get to what is it called? Like the things with all the lights on them or whatever for trains, whatever it's called. But it's
A
shaped like
road
a shrine.
crossing?
No, not a railroad fucking crossing because we're on a bridge. Anyway, it's like it's kind of similar to to like the entrance of a shrine. That's all I could describe it. I don't know why I can't think of it. Railing? I don't know. But they set up a bunch of seals and stuff on it, and as soon as they cross it, they Turbo Granny and the Earthbound Spirit Crab burn up. It's pretty cool. And Colt said this originally. Um, the tunnel was the source of a bunch of brutal killings and rapes of girls. And whenever the crab is being burnt up, it shows all the spirits of the girls coming out of the crab, crying, and finally being able to pass on. And then the reason why Turbo Granny was even at that tunnel was because she went to that tunnel to console all the girls who died. Um, it gets it's like I said, we say like there's a lot of silliness, but there is still very much this very good emotional weight that Tatsu is able to add to the story. Like um this and another the next arc that we're talking about got me crying. Um because it's just like because as much as like this craziness and silliness there is that weight of like Turbo Granny and a lot of these stories of the occult and ghosts. It's like it's based on, people who actually died or lost their lives. So it's yeah, I Tatsu does this really well. And then next day, after a series of misunderstandings, Okarun and Momo accidentally kiss.
Yeah, it's a very fun, cute scene where they're both like actively looking for each other, but each other thinks that they're avoiding each other, but they're just going to different places that they know the other one would normally be in.
And
But
they're just avoiding each other by accident.
yeah.
Yeah. But then after Okarun learns that his penis was returned, but his testicles are now missing. Um, it's a really funny scene where Okarun is going to the bathroom, and okay, so he says this. He says, "Wait a second, I thought I got it back, but now my balls are gone." As he's trying to use a urinal, it's very funny. and then uh, and then after that too, it shows Momo talking to a bunch of her friends and a bunch of girls because they had seen him and her accidentally kiss, so now it's just a bunch of gossip and stuff. But
And
yeah,
then Momo is the sort of popular girl. She hangs out with the Gyaru subclass of people. Subclass, like they're fucking RPG. But it's a super unique group of people that I really enjoy the style of. Because the people that usually are in it are normally very cool and just interesting people.
yeah. Um, Also, too, Tatsu really knows how to on these covers and some of his illustrations inside. He really knows how to draw clothes.
Oh yeah, that's the thing about like a talented mangaka is how good they are with fashion. And if they are like Tite Kubo or whoever, I can't remember the Soul Eater mangaka, if they can do it like that, then they have a beautiful art style.
Yeah, no, I mean it makes sense because whenever you're drawing like comics and manga, especially, they have to learn like fashion pretty much. Yeah, a lot. I mean, a lot goes into um, making a making a manga. Um, Sorry. Anyway, Seiko forces Turbo Granny's consciousness out of him and into a Maneke Neko doll, the beckoning cat. Um, Very fun because it's the
This is the
second.
best decision Yukinobu's made. Just
So
just a
good.
peak.
It's so freaking good because she's just sitting there like a normal beckoning cat. We see the little paper that they put there start to burn up, and immediately it's like, oh shit, and then she she just gets up and runs. Very very fun designed. But the thing is that Okarun has retained her spiritual powers, and currently it Turbo Granny is just her consciousness inside the cat. So they strike a deal to return their powers in exchange for his restoration. And but Turbo Granny lost his balls. She changes them to golden balls, apparently called Kintama. They're golden balls, and she lost them. It's very fun.
And it's important to get them back because anybody that gets these balls attracts other evil spirits
Yeah,
or supernatural oddities.
yeah. It will increase their powers, but also, or if they have latent powers, or maybe it might give them a little bit. Um, and it also makes it possible for them to see spirits, and of course attracts spirits, because once spirits know they can be seen, they tend to latch on to those people. um so fellow student, we get our third um kid for this group is Iara Shiratori. She has picked up one of these Kintama
You sure
by
it's not
accident.
Ira?
Ira, I mean, yeah, Ira.
Iara adds a bunch of other letters.
Can you not interrupt me again, by the way?
I'm sorry.
I'm just
That
kidding. I'm
just
just kidding.
felt wrong.
I'm just kidding. Fellow student Ira Shiratori picked up a Kitama by accident, awakening her spiritual power, and Ira mistakes Momo as a devil. Um, the reason for this, though, is because earlier, um, she Ira is very mean, very
Self-centered,
self-centered.
just a evil character because she had an interaction with her main man Okarun where she's like, I'm gonna be such a nice and cool person. I'm gonna be the only hot chick that's ever talked to this little loser shit slob, and I'm just gonna be the best person ever. And she does so. She whispers basically the same thing, but Momo's nearby, and Momo says, "Fuck it, I'm gonna drop a fucking wash basin on her head," and she does.
Yeah. Uh it's pretty cool, because she thinks that, like, she's doing him a favor, or she's doing a lot of nerds a favor, because she's so beautiful, that for them to look at her beauty and for her to interact with them is a gift. But then Momo drops a wash basin on her, and she says the only thing you deserve are basins falling on you. Really cool. But then she thinks that Momo is a devil because of this. Um, Ira's awakening also makes her visible to the acrobatic Silky yokai, which is where we get the name of this arc, who proceeds to
Did you say why she can see these?
no, sorry. Or I said because she picked up the Kintama.
Okay, sorry, I just think of them as golden balls.
No, no, you're right. Um, you're right to stop me right there, because the way this goes, I need to bring up to the reason why the acrobatic Silky has any interest is because the acrobatic Silky thinks Ira is her daughter, um because uh we'll find out, but the acrobatic Silky believes Ira's her daughter, so she's been trying to get her to acknowledge her, and now that she can see her, um, she's closing in on her. And there's also this really creepy scene where Ira is looking in the courtyard, and she's asking her friends, "Don't you see that woman in the red dress?" Um, and then Tatsu shows us the courtyard, but there's nobody there. And it keeps flashing to the courtyard, and then she's moving, she's getting closer. It's just a really good, like, horror film esque scene. It's very good. Um, and then whenever we see the acrobatic Silky, again, a lot of teeth. I love her design. She has this hat that's on top of her head, but it's just like a flat, like a circle, just a flat circle. It's like half of her head's gone. It's really cool, and she's really creepy. Um, but there's this fight that goes on. Also, too, Turbo Granny is I forget, she's at the school. She snuck into Okarun's backpack when he was going to school, and she just kind of she has her own little adventure in school. She just wants to relive her glory high school days.
Fun thing about Turbo Granny in the kitty cat form is she just does whatever she wants now that she's not tied down to a location.
Yeah, she just does whatever, and I just love her. There's a scene where they're on lunch and eating, and she's scarfing down
So yakisoba.
yeah, but it just looks like a spaghetti sandwich.
I mean, that's basically what it is. If it's bread with yakisoba noodles in it. I can't remember what the actual name is, but it's very, very popular in Japanese schools. It's in
It looked good.
every single fucking Persona game, every single Japanese video game where you are a high school student. It's burned into my brain.
And it looked good. And we get this sequence where she accidentally drops a sandwich, and it's just kind of her talking, but then as she's climbing down from the bench, going to pick up the sandwich and then continue eating it as it's been dropped on the ground. Um, Turbo Granny, you kind of a freak.
I mean, I don't think she has to worry about sickness, so
I don't think so
I
either.
kind of like fuck it, dude. Yeah, eat it.
I would. If I did, I would. I don't
Dude, if
know.
I didn't have to worry about like sickness or death, I'd eat anything and everything.
We would just eat garbage.
Dude, I'd be drinking antifreeze like crazy. It looks
I
like
mean,
it tastes delicious.
what if it does taste good? You
I
know,
mean, people say it tastes sweet, the people that have drank it. I don't know why they make it taste sweet, but
I don't think they're making it taste sweet. I
I
think
don't
that's just
know.
I think that's just a natural flavor of it.
I
I don't
guess
think
they're
there's
putting sugar in the antifreeze, trying to make it taste better.
um but yeah, it's a lot of fun. Um they're Turbo Granny is constantly threatening them. Um she wants to kill them, she wants to beat them up, but at the same time she can't do jack shit. So so they're just bullying her. It's very fun. And
Yeah. She's just been reduced to like a knowledge character because she actually has knowledge on the spirits.
yeah. Sorry, I'm going back through. There's a part in here where where they're talking to her and Okarun has to hold her back because she's trying to fight Momo. Um you know, and the reason why they want to give her powers back is because they recognize that while she is weird, maybe kind of outrageous, she was trying to help those girls in the tunnel, because
Yeah.
she did feel bad for them. So yeah, you know, so and she does help them, maybe more so out of right now, um, because of their contract that they have. But yeah, and then anyway, yeah, so the Silky swallows up Okarun, Ira, and Momo, but Turbo Granny brings up the fact that she is a beckoning cat, and one of the things about beckoning cats is that they're lucky, and because she's there, they're always going to have luck on their side. And one of the things that happened was the acrobatic Silky uses hair as part of her power, but whenever she attacked Momo and swallowed her, she also ingested some of her hair. So Momo is able to burn her from the inside, and she's able to they're able to get free from her, and this is where the second volume ends.
It's funny because the only reason they're able to burn the hair is because Ira had a crucifix lighter because she was going to try to exorcise Momo.
Yeah. Yeah, should mention too, Ira, attacks Momo with her 2 friends, and, she has a Bible, and, yeah, they're gonna try to exorcise her. They also bound her hands, so the entire time, Momo is having to fight with her hands, bound behind her. Um, but, no, it's a pretty sick scene too whenever they're out. They're smoking, but they say Ira rescue mission complete, so now they have to defeat the Silky. So yeah, and then we're just gonna go into the third volume, which is the rest of the acrobatic Silky. Um, it's
And
only
the fucking dude, I can't wait to get to this next arc because it has legit probably one of my favorite things. It's
Dude,
making me smile. I'm listening to the song on loop right now as we talk
I've
about it.
been ever since ever since we had to reread this and I was reminded, I've been listening to the song all week. It's so good. And now when I go back to read that, I'm literally singing the song kind of like in tandem with it. It's very good. Anyway,
And I haven't read volume 6 yet, but I found out why he's singing it, and it makes me so much more happier.
oh my god. Oh my god. I'm so glad because that's the reason. So shit, I
We
can't talk
can't. We're not even going to be able to talk about it on this episode because we're not going that far.
the reason's so good. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, so we get to the third volume. We get the first three chapters are the last of the acrobatic Silky arc, which the last chapter is called "To a Kinder World." Reading that makes me tear up. So Momo and Okarun defeat Silky, but Ira dies.
Straight up dead. Whenever a spirit eats a human, I guess the spirit dies.
Yeah, because Okarun has Turbo Granny's powers, Momo has her own powers, Ira doesn't. She just picked up the Kintama, and that's it. So she dies. Also too, Turbo Granny's just like is like, what? It happens. Who cares? Let's just go. Let's just leave. It's just like Turbo Granny doesn't fucking care. But to revive her, Silky makes the says that she can transfer her aura to her. So Momo transfers Silky's aura to Silky's aura to Ira, and in doing this, Momo sees the Silky's um, life pretty much before she became a yokai, and also Ira sees it as well, and Momo empathizes with both after learning their similarly tragic family histories because she also sees Ira's as well. And I told Colt this, that whenever you get to this, I know for me it breaks my heart. It made me cry. Like I'm tearing up right now. Like I can't I can't have this happen right now.
One of the
So
most beautiful deaths in something I've seen in a minute. I'm very, very curious about how they're going to animate it, especially with Kinsuke Ushio. I bet he's going to have a track that will make you instantly turn into an ocean. I'm so
yeah,
ready.
yeah, and Colt says beautiful not because of what's happening, of just because of how tragic and how it's drawn. So basically, the acrobatic Silky became what she is. So originally, she was just a regular woman who she had to work a lot of, or she had a job, and but she was also a prostitute, and she was doing all this to support her small child that she had, and whenever she gets home, she lights up when she sees her daughter, um, of them living their lives.
Like, she
Um,
clearly doesn't like sex work, but seeing her daughter happy, it makes it, I guess, worth it in a sense. Because she was reminded, like, this is what I'm doing it for.
and and then also too, the acrobatic Silky, whenever she's fighting, she's dancing. She's very quick, very good at dodging attacks. That's because she was originally a ballet dancer, and we see this scene of her teaching her daughter how to ballet because this is one of her passions. But she couldn't become a ballet dancer because of having a child, of having to work regular jobs, and because of the sex work. Eventually, though, this group, I assume maybe whoever she owns money to or whatever, they break in. I mean, they beat the shit out of her. They take her daughter, and she tries to run after her daughter in the rain. Her face is bloody. She trips. It's so brutal. Um, and then her daughter's just gone. And so then we get this sequence of panels where she's performing a dance, and it's her last dance because she's on top of a building, and she does this jump, this gorgeous just final act dance. This it's just it's brutal. And I was telling Colt this, that in the final trailer for Dandadan, you very briefly see the animation for this dance. And every time I saw the final trailer and I see that, I tear up thinking about it. And reading this again, I cried again because it's so sad. And yeah, so yeah, she kills herself, and then at some point, um she's in a crowd of people, um wearing her red dress and her hat. She's taken her yokai form, and she's kind of like not necessarily losing her memories, but she kind of she doesn't know where she is or what's going on. And then Ira, when she's a small child, the same age and size of her daughter, she thinks that's her mom. Um, Briefly, she can see acrobatic Silky, and this is why she attaches to her. Um, but it's not her mom, because we find out that Ira mom has died, and so
It
now it's just
makes me
her and her
curious on
father.
like why did Ira see her in the first place? Is that so? I'm curious if we ever find that out. If that was something special.
Well, that's because, it's typically children are more susceptible to
That's
seeing
true.
spirits. That's why she was able to see her. Um, and, um, yeah, and if anybody's thinking, "Oh, well, is Ira her long lost child?" No. Her mother and Acrobatic Silky are 2 different people. We see her mother. Her mother looks nothing like what the Silky originally looked like. Um, so yeah. Um, and then so the acrobatic Silky sacrifices herself. This is where we learn that because of what's happening to her body and because of her strong attachment to this world, um, she can't achieve nirvana. She can't achieve an afterlife. Um, but there might possibly be a way. It's only if the Silky will allow herself. And this is where Ira grabs the Silky as she's disappearing and telling her, for a brief moment, like saying, like, like, "You're my mom. I love you. Thank you for being a good mother." And she hopes that her and her daughter can go to a kinder world, which is the name of this final chapter of this arc.
But wah wah wah. If you remember in the manga, Turbo Granny says, "They ain't going to heaven. They ain't going to hell. They're going into oblivion, nothingness."
Oh, I just said there is a possibility if she can release her strong attachment to the world. That's why Ira said what she said.
Mm,
That's I literally just said, "Are you not
I don't know.
listening?"
I think Turbo Granny is right. I think she was damned to oblivion, and I think she deserves it. Fuck her.
All right. Well, Colt, that is Colt's opinion on that. So yeah, there you go. Everybody clap for Colt.
Thank you.
So yeah. So now that that's happened, also too, Ira goes to Momo's house with her grandma and Okarun, and they eat dinner, and it's very fun because Ira does not believe that Seiko is Momo's grandmother. She's like, "She's too young and too hot to be your grandma." Immediately, Seiko's like, "Oh, I love this girl."
Yeah, that's I love that bit with her because it just basically anyone that like kisses up to her is like, oh yeah, yeah, this kid's going places. They're gonna go
Yeah,
far in life.
and it's so funny because, like, at this point too, like, Ira's leaving, and she calls her grandma auntie, um, because she also doesn't think her to be her grandma. She thinks she's too young, and it's so funny because Seiko's like, it's like, you'll kick her butt one day, Ira. Auntie's rooting for you." It's very good, and the entire time too, Okarun is like, she has completely uh misunderstood the situation because Ira wants to believes that Okarun is like possessed by Momo. He's one of her minions, so she wants to try to save him. Um
But
she's
she
actually
also developed like a crush somehow.
she's actually developed feelings for Okarun. It's very funny. So let me see here. After sharing a meal together, Ira insists Momo is a demon and vows to break Momo's hold on Okarun. I just said that at school. Momo catches Okarun and Ira in a compromising posture, which occurred after Ira confessed her feelings to him. And because of her romantically awkward notions, she believes that when you confess your feelings, that the two people have to kiss, especially if it's a woman confessing to a guy. So she tries to kiss him. Um, he, he doesn't want to. Actually, in fact, he's by himself because he lied to Momo for a little bit because she's been wanting to hang out with him, but he wants to work out and get stronger in secret because he feels like she's always saving him and he's not doing much. So he's trying to get stronger, and in turn, um, he's lied to her, and now um, she catches him in this position. It's very funny. Really, again, really good romance by Tatsu. Very, very good.
Common trope. It's a little tropey, but at the same time, it's good. It's good because it's accompanied by everything else.
Yeah. And it's so funny too because Ira also read this stuff about romance in this magazine she found in her dad's stuff, and Okarun's like, "That is not a good magazine to have
It
found."
was it was one of those magazines.
It's very funny. Um, and so yeah, so uh, Okarun is trying to figure out what to do. Bumbo is kind of feeling bummed out, but then the Serpoians return, and the whole school is just empty. It fills with they start to flood the school with water. The outside is just pure darkness, similar to what happened when they fought the um the Flatwoods monster. So they flooded the school because it is to aid their mercenaries. Two aliens that they hired. One is similar to a plesiosaur with the head of Shin Godzilla, very cool, and one is similar to a mantis shrimp. Uh, so the plesiosaur is Nessie, obviously. Um, and then the mantis shrimp, which I didn't realize what cryptid this was until reading the little portions at the end. It's supposed to be the Dover demon.
Which I don't see any connection to what I know about the Dover Demon, like, at all, but I don't care. I think it's awesome anyways.
I think it's awesome. I get it. I saw this too. A lot of people saying the same thing. They're like, this looks no connection here between it and the Dover demon, but whatever. I love it. Also too, this Dover demon has boxing gloves, which I believe at the very end it talks about. Um, yeah. So okay. So a little factoid. Uh, he bought the gloves when he came to Earth and took a liking to them.
That's just
So
so funny. That's
that's
awesome.
that's so awesome. Um, yeah. And whenever um okay, so sorry. So all three humans fight ineffectively on their own. It is revealed too that Ira has her own yokai powers now because she did get the aura of the Silky. So she gets a really cool mashup between her and or an enhanced form of herself and the acrobatic Silky, just like Okarun's form with the Turbo Granny. She also has a lot of teeth. But her relies a lot on just like the acrobatic Silky, like kicks. She can use her hair, dancing as well. It's really cool. And then and they're fighting the Dover demon, and the Dover demon, this is what me and Cole have been kind of excited to talk about, is singing Chiquitita by ABBA.
It's so good. He's just singing it the entire time, but it's for a very special reason that we're not going to tell you about. It's just
Let's
something that you have to be super excited for in the future.
let's just say when he came to Earth, he really liked that song. He really liked the
Like,
name of that song.
he kinda liked it a whole lot, and you know what? It's the perfect song for what he used it for.
Well, the thing is a lot of people do that. They'll hear a name from a song and they really like it. So yeah, he's singing the song, and like I told Cole, I'll go back and like kind of think in the style of like how he's like fighting, and I'll be singing Chiquitita, and it's just like this is not a fighting song, but for this moment, it's just so good.
Yeah, like, in hindsight, like, looking at it over, it's kind of heartwarming.
It's very heartwarming. It makes me love the song even more with its connection to him and Dandadan. It's so good. Um,
I will say ABBA is the perfect background noise to listen to while reading the manga. It's very fitting.
that's awesome. I mean, I love ABBA, and I did not expect a manga to have a ABBA reference like this. Um, so eventually, in their fights, Okuran is stripped naked, and the Serpoians attempt to harvest his sex organs,
Banana.
banana organs. Um, but Momo finds an effective teamwork strategy, and so they're fighting, and at some point, because the Dover Demon is being ineffective, they give him a they give him like a drug to boost his power, which he looks more like a mantis shrimp now. Um, and he looks very cool. There's a really funny moment where the water gets worse and they're having to swim now, and the the Dover Demon is talking while underwater, but then um he um he has to come back up for air, and that's when they both Okuran and Momo realize, "Oh, you don't have lungs, do you?" So it's just it's just like this moment of like, well, we might be at an advantage.
What makes it even funnier is that mantis shrimp, when it comes to punching on land, it's not as powerful, but when in the water, that's their peak strength. And he's a mantis shrimp alien creature that
with
can't
no
breathe
gills.
underwater.
He doesn't have gills. It's so funny. Because in my head, it's just like, you don't have gills, do you? Kick his ass. So,
God, it's
uh,
so good.
it's so good. Also too, to inject this fucking drug, they have the Serpoians use their fucking metal dick thing because it can also work as a syringe. They're kind of they have like cybernetic augmentations, but it's just like what the fuck.
They freaky.
And also too, you get this impression that the mantis shrimp is not a bad guy. I'll say that. Um, but yeah, so and then but the Serpoians are having problems with their other mercenary, the um Nessie, because they've already killed two of the other Serpoians. They're not dead, I don't think. I think they say that they're in this psychic realm called the Awesome Zone. So they're not necessarily dead, but their forms in this world are destroyed.
Cause Nessie and the Dover Demon, they're hired mercenaries, but turns out Nessie is just crazy and attacks everything.
Yeah. Uh
Chiquitita, tell me what's wrong.
And yeah, so the Serpoians are tired of their mercenaries' incompetence. So uh, the one Serpoian that's left has Nessie, the Dover Demon, and themselves merge into a single aquatic monster, and an underwater is about to ensue. But yeah, and no, this is where the third volume ends. This is where we cut off right here.
Yeah, it cuts off in a way. It's like, oh, okay. Normally, oh, it feels like this is coming to an end, and it just goes on to the next volume. But hey, that's all. That's all of Dan. No more ever came out. They canceled it immediately.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, no. And this also too, this uh merger monster that we see is very cool. We actually you actually do see it in the opening as well.
Oh, okay.
So I'm very excited for how this is going to be animated. But yeah, no, the first three volumes are awesome. I love everything about Dandadan. Obviously, as I said before, I've read the first six volumes. I need to get the rest because I want to catch up.
Yeah,
So good.
I've read the first 5 at this point. I have everything that's out in English currently. They just need to up the rate of the release because we are like nearly half of what they have in Japan. and I like at least get it to where we're 2 volumes behind them in Japan. I think that would be nice.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, no, the release um the release time frames are very long.
It's like
Um
3 months, every 3 months, and then sometimes 4 because sometimes they skip holidays or holiday months.
yeah, because like the sixth volume, like I said, came out in the very beginning of this year, January, but then the seventh volume did not come out until April,
Yeah.
like exactly 3 months later. Uh, and then the eighth volume did not come out until again 3 months later. Wow.
Yeah, meanwhile, fucking Drifting Dragons, that's another manga I'm collecting. They have every single volume out that's in Japan, and
Oh
we're just
wow.
currently waiting on the, next volume to release in Japan, and I imagine shortly after we'll get it here.
Yeah. The ninth volume doesn't come out till October 15th. Uh, yeah, you're right. It's exactly 3 months, and then same thing. The tenth volume won't come out till December.
Which is funny because the only others thing I can think of that does that is the Dark Horse Deluxe editions, but strangely enough, they don't do that for the Trigun, which they're releasing monthly now. Uh, every 3 months, you'd get a new Berserk, you get a new, Sword of the Immortal or Blade of the Immortal. It's strange because those are 3-in-1s, and we can only get 1 volume a month or 1 volume every 3 months for Dandadan. I don't truly get it.
I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with the translations. I couldn't tell you. Uh, yeah. I really
Highly
don't
recommend this. I really think this is going to be or the anime is gonna pop off. There's gonna be so many new fans for this. This is gonna be selling like chicken. And everybody loves chicken.
uh, yeah, I mean, I don't really have too much else to say. I love the occult. I love cryptids. I love yokai. Um, I love the action in this too. The designs. The romance is pretty fun. I mean, um, like I said previously, with when hitting those emotional notes in this story, very good. There is some stuff, like I said later, um, that we get more or that gets more or up until volume 6. There's even more stuff. Very emotional. Um, it's just very good. It's a all-
Genuinely funny as shit too.
yeah, like all around, just a great just a great manga so far. I mean, and like that beginning stuff too, with with them assaulting Momo, and with with Turbo Granny saying what she said to Okuran. It's like it never really detracts me away from everything else. I like, as weird as it was, and I mean still too, they still try to get um they still try to get Okuran's dick. Um
Banana.
yes, banana. Um but it never hurts it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. They never go over the edge. Like I think the worst it gets, like I said, I've only read the first 5 volumes, is that first part.
Because even when that stuff's happening, like it never goes too far, and the villains get properly the shit beaten out of them. so yeah, I yeah, it's great.
So read it, watch it, just live, laugh, love, Dan to Dan.
Did you want to give it a rating?
As far as I'm going, with the manga, it's a solid, like very solid 9 out of 10. Uh 9.5 out of 10 actually. And the first 3 anime episodes, I would say 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. 9.5 out of 10, and then 4.5 out of 5.
Now we wait for Kagurabachi's anime. And Gachi Akuta, that's another one that I'm very interested in reading, but I'm waiting for more physicals to release.
Yeah, Sam. But thank you for listening. We are the All You Can Hear podcast. You can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Overcast. Leave us a review, give us feedback, subscribe. Really helps us out. We really appreciate it. You can follow us on Twitter at AYCH Podcast. You can follow the Backlog Boys Pod. You can follow Cage and Greatness. You can follow the instruction booklet. They're all great. Go check them out. You can follow us on Blue Sky, aychpodcast.bsky.social. Follow our Instagram at AYCH Podcast. Follow us on twitch.tv/AllYouCanHear. Go to our YouTube, All You Can Hear, where the VODs from our Twitch, including the ones for the instruction booklet, are uploaded, and our podcast episodes are uploaded on there as well. And lastly, you can follow me, Wenzel, on Twitter at WenzyWilkie. Follow my art Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky as World of Wenzy. You can follow my Bookstagram, Wenzel Banters, and my link tree has links for everything, including my letterbox and my Goodreads.
I'm Colt. Follow me on Twitter, ColtD00, and on the Blue Sky at ColtD99. That is all.